Hi, welcome back to another Crypto Dave video. It's my weekly mining roundup today, and before I start, just to let you know, I've got a new microphone. So I've had some comments on the sound quality of my videos recently. So I've got a new microphone, which if I move my webcam over, you can see here. So this is the new microphone. So hopefully the quality will be a lot better going forward. So I've been using just the built-in microphone on the webcam until now, and unfortunately it picks up a lot of background sound. So it picks up a lot of the background fan noise from my desktop machines that are in the office here, and then what I have to do is within Camtasia, when I'm kind of editing the kind of videos, I have to then use this kind of like audio kind of like cancelling or sort of like background noise cancelling function, but that does tend to affect my speech as well. So it sounds almost like I'm in a kind of box or sort of underwater or something like that. So it's trying to kind of get that balance right. So anyway, I've got a new microphone. Hopefully the sound quality will be better from now on, but let me know in the comments below. So anyway, let's start by taking a quick glance at the market. So total market cap at the moment is 455 billion. That's up, I think, probably about 20 billion from last week, and it's been a week that's sort of trended sideways largely until yesterday, and we had like a really big kind of spike up yesterday in Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of the larger kind of currencies. We're currently just under Bitcoin, just under that $9,700 mark. It was above $9,700 a little bit earlier today, but it's around that kind of mark. And as I said last week, I think we really need to see Bitcoin break above the $10,000 mark and stay there for a few days before I think we can be really kind of confident that we're in that kind of bullish trend. But it's been a good week. We've seen sideways consolidation and then an upwards trend, and even today we've seen a consolidation of those kind of gains yesterday. So it's been a really good week. Some of the cryptocurrencies in the top 20, so stuff like EOS, which has had a really good kind of week or fortnight previous to now, has now been a little bit kind of flat, a little bit kind of sideways, but they've made massive gains in the last kind of couple of weeks. But I think really Ethereum has been probably the standout performer this week. But overall the markets look good. As I say, I think that 10,000 mark is something to look out for. I think it's a psychological barrier that Bitcoin needs to break through and then kind of hold there for, I think, kind of like individuals particularly to start then kind of like looking at kind of buying back into kind of Bitcoin, particularly people that were buying towards the end of last year. So the first story this week is a plugin, cryptocurrency plugin for Request Network for WooCommerce. And if you don't know what WooCommerce is, it's the largest e-commerce plugin for WordPress. I believe it has a reach of somewhere around 40% of the entire internet, WooCommerce. So it's a huge kind of plugin. A huge number of sites are built on WordPress, and almost everybody who runs e-commerce stuff, or a large number of people who run e-commerce on WordPress, use WooCommerce. It's by far the largest plugin for e-commerce. So Request Network, I believe it was just a single developer and developed this, but it allows anybody with a WooCommerce kind of store to accept cryptocurrencies. It's a very simple kind of plugin. It just ties into the kind of checkout procedure, and then people can use a request network to pay within Ethereum. And it works with pretty much all fiat currencies out there. I believe it uses the Crypto Compare API. So basically any fiat currency that is available on Crypto Compare, it will do real-time conversions over to Ethereum and then pay via the Request Network. So I think it's a real good positive step for Request Network, which runs its own kind of token on top of Ethereum, and also for WooCommerce. So I think any way we can get adoption increase in terms of people paying for stuff with cryptocurrency is a really positive thing. So it's a really nice little kind of plugin. I will be having a play around with it myself on a couple of sites this week. But yeah, really nice job there, and I believe that they've got some really interesting stuff in the kind of pipeline for this, if it proves popular. So fingers crossed, and kudos to the developers for this. Anyway, let's jump over to the second story, and that is South Korea. So it looks like after banning ICOs last year, South Korea is now set to legalize ICOs again under some slightly new rules and new conditions. So it looks from this story here, I was reading through, that they are aiming at legalizing ICOs again within some revised kind of rules and kind of regulations under the government supervision. It looks like they're trying to get this rolled out this year, which would be really, really good. So Korea is a real early adopter of cryptocurrencies in general, and having ICOs available for Korean, South Koreans, again, would be like a real boost, not just for South Korea, but I think for the crypto sphere in general. So yeah, really positive news there, and fingers crossed that will, come to bear sooner rather than later. But let's jump over to the next story now, and this is the big news this week, and that is the Antminer Z9 or Z9, depending where you are in the world, mini, and this is an Equihash miner, and it was announced yesterday. There's been, I've probably seen at least a dozen or a couple of dozen videos on YouTube about this already, so I don't want to kind of rehash too many things, but just looking at the specs here, we're looking at 10 kilahashes, so 10,000 souls per second at around 300 watts. Now, bearing in mind, I have a 1070, so 1070 rig in the loft here that is running probably 1.8 kilahashes at I don't know, probably something like 500 watts, something like that. So you really get an idea of the real boost in performance. So they're available one per person only, $2,000 plus a PSU, and this is obviously going to be a game changer for Equihash. Now, the sad reality is that these have obviously been running on the Equihash network for, at least I imagine a good few months. They're now being, removed from the shelves of Bitmain's data centers and then flogged off to individuals. So they've obviously mined whatever they wanted to mine. Maybe they think that other manufacturers are going to come out with them, or maybe they've got more efficient Gen 2 miners already, but they're now flogging these off to end users. So it's quite a sorry state of affairs. I mean, it was only probably 2.5 months ago that we would have been sat here, and despite people's sort of kind of worries, there were no ASICs for Equihash, there were no ASICs for Ethash, there were no ASICs for Kryptonite, and here we are sat here, 2.5 months later with, a Kryptonite miner, an Ethash miner, now an Equihash miner that's due to ship next month. And GPU miners do have the flexibility. We can move to other coins. So, a lot of people went over to Kryptonite V7 with Monero once they kind of hard forked. I think the big question with this particular miner is, will Zcash, will Zencash, will Bitcoin Gold fork to a different algorithm or a tweak on this algorithm to make them ASIC resistant? But I think, we look at these kind of algorithms, and not just the ones that it's now been confirmed that there are ASICs on, but also the other ones. So it's like, over the last few months, Bitmain has launched a huge number of new ASIC miners on a huge number of different algorithms. And I, fully expect that in the background, they also have ASICs working on some of these other kind of what we thought originally were ASIC resistant algorithms. So whether that's Lyra 2 Rev 2 or or kind of whatever, maybe some of the Gruzel coin in Murad, is it Murad Gruzel or whatever. But, I would imagine that any of these kind of big coins, any of the big kind of algorithms will have in the background ASICs being developed that may well be running on the network at the moment. Now, if we can't get rid of ASICs, and, there are arguments for and against kind of ASICs, I don't want to kind of like rehash that debate here, but, if you're looking for decentralization, we need, well, at the very least, a lot more manufacturers creating kind of ASICs, and particularly at the kind of lower end that are available for everybody. Some people have been saying, well, it's $2,000, you'd pay that for a GPU rig. I mean, you would easily pay that for, most kind of GPU rigs. But the reality is that GPU rig can then be used for other things. Whereas this Antminer Z9 Mini will just hash Equihash. If everybody forks away, and I'm not expecting everybody, but if everybody forks away, it's fundamentally, useless. So that is, that's always the kind of the argument with kind of ASICs. It seems to have triggered far more debate, I think, than possibly even the kind of the Ethash miner. I think because that one, that you didn't really see the increase in kind of performance gains that you are seeing with this, and you are seeing with kind of Kryptonite, and you did see with, say, X11 with the Dash miners, etc. But anyway, let me know what you think about ASICs. Let me know if you're thinking of buying one of these. I won't personally be buying one, but what are the alternatives? Is it just a case of, like Monero, where they do an algo kind of switch or kind of tweak every 6 months? And is it a kind of case that if you do it regularly enough that the ASIC manufacturers, can't be bothered kind of manufacturing or kind of like developing new chips for your new tweaked algorithms? Or do you just say, well, you know, if they're going to come, they're going to come, and you just run with ASICs? Or, you know, do you take Digibyte's view, which is you have a number of different algorithms, so you decentralize by using 5 different algorithms? I know that they're looking maybe to switch up the algorithms because almost all of those are ASIC mineable now, so they've got SHA-256 and Script and various other ones. But you know, do you mix it up that way so that even if 1 or 2 of your kind of algorithms are compromised by ASICs, as it were, that you've still got like a big chunk of your hash rate on other stuff? You know, interesting kind of questions. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But on the back of that, I just wanted to touch on this next story, which is Gridcoin. And this was, I was reading on Reddit, so it was one of the long debates about the new Bitmain miner, the Equihash miner. And somebody kind of said, well, you know, maybe projects like kind of Gridcoin, where you're actually doing legitimate kind of work rather than just, you know, hashing the same algorithm again and again and again, is one way past it. So for GPU mining, whether you're looking at, say, Golem, which is doing video rendering, 3D rendering, or Gridcoin, which is quite an interesting project. So I just started looking at this yesterday. I won't go into too much detail because I probably will do a dedicated video on this in the next kind of week or so. But it's basically, it's a cryptocurrency which rewards you for performing computing cycles on the, I believe it's pronounced Boink, the Boink platform, in a decentralized manner. So you can do solo mining, you can do pool mining, and invest. I'll let you read this. All the links will be below, but I'll let you read up if you want to on Gridcoin. But here's a list here of some of the projects on kind of Boink that are compatible with Gridcoin. So you carry out, you know, work on these kind of projects, and you get paid Gridcoin in compensation, basically. So they've got really large things. So they've got the SETI at Home project, which is a search for extraterrestrial intelligence. There is various protein folding. There's asteroid research. There's all sorts of kind of quite cool kind of projects that are actually doing useful kind of work. There's stuff looking into discovery of new drugs. There's a lot here anyway. So maybe this, you know, is an alternative. Maybe, you know, this is the kind of future. Projects like Gridcoin, projects like Golem, where you're actually doing useful kind of work, but that is slightly different, constantly kind of like changing, rather than just hashing out one particular algorithm, you know, billions and billions of times a second. So maybe this type of kind of project is one of the ways forward. But it'll be interesting to see how, you know, projects like Gridcoin and Golem, you know, pick up some of the kind of work from GPU kind of miners if more and more algorithms become you know, ASIC dominated. But anyway, that's it for this week. Let's jump over to the giveaway. So somebody mentioned yesterday, I noticed there was a comment that I'm giving away Neutron this week, and there was a comment that on, I think it was on Bittrex or on Cryptopia or something, that Neutron, the Neutron wallet, was in maintenance, so people couldn't get a wallet address. Now, in some ways, I was hoping that the kind of people who are doing this, the reason I do different coins each week is that I'm hoping that some people will kind of look at a kind of new coin, will maybe grab a wallet and start kind of holding that coin and staking or something like that. So that was my kind of hope, rather than you just go to kind of Bittrex and, you know, grab a wallet address and use that. But anyway, apologies if you couldn't get a wallet address for this week's giveaway. There are only 10 commenters, so maybe it wasn't that popular this week. But let's go through and pick out a winner. Let me just grab this URL. That was the correct one, yeah. Okay, so congratulations to Carlos Alfonso Nava. And he says, which coin is the best for staking, and finally create a masternode result of that staking? Thanks for your answer. I think I did answer that actually in the comments yesterday, and I think I suggested, I forget what I suggested now. I think I suggested maybe Syndicate, Smart, Cash, and Linda. But anyway, I did reply to that comment. So congratulations, Carlos. I will take a quick glance here. Oops. Neutron. So that's 69.4, so 70 Neutron is $10. So I will just pause the video very, very quickly, and then I'll jump over to my Neutron wallet and do that giveaway. Okay, so let's just grab the address here, and we will send those coins over to, just paste the address, and it was 70 coins, 70 Neutron, and let's send that over. So there we are, let's just check. So that's on its way. Congratulations again to Carlos for winning this week's giveaway. Now next week I'm going to be giving away gas. So this is a Neo gas. Obviously I can't give away kind of Neo. You need to hold a full Neo in your wallet, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to try and give away a fraction of that. But I'm going to give away $10 of gas, which is the transactional currency on Neo's network. So gas is next week's giveaway. It's the same address as your Neo address if you have a wallet. I'm not sure if it's the same on exchanges, but anyway, gas will be next week's giveaway. So thanks very much for watching. Hope it's been interesting. Thanks again. Let me know if the sound has been better. Hopefully the video's okay. I don't know if the video kind of quality issues are down to Camtasia, which is a software I'm using to do the screen captures, or whether it's down to the kind of webcam on the actual kind of video of me. But anyway, let me know below. I will hopefully see you on next week's video. So gas next week's video. Congratulations, Carlos. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye bye.